We've got stands from 990,000 at the normal area. The ones at the top there, you're looking at anywhere between 7 and 12 million.
Just for land?
Just for the stand.
Hey!
But those are big. There you're going up to 12,900 squares. It took me a while to catch on to people signing offer to purchase OTPs and then disappearing without ever hearing from them. And I couldn't quite work out what that was all about.
Okay.
And that actually it's money laundering.
Whoa,
we figured it out that it's money laundering. So they take the offer to purchase and they use that to bring money into the country. So they might have sent money out the country that might have been cash and not declared it through SARS. And they use an OTP to bring that money back into the country tax-free. So that's probably one of the craziest things that I've had here. Customers will phone you and send you messages at 10 or past 10 at night. You know, sometimes I forget what time business hours should shut down.
Yeah.
But as an estate agent, we take the calls and we help them anyway. And that's how I got into it. But I quickly realized that it was a full-time job. I don't know of another estate that is as quiet as ours. And when I say quiet, I mean quiet as in hearing. We don't have airports around us. we don't have highways. We don't hear gunshots. You know, it really is an incredible place to stay.
Have you also been kidnapped or what happened?
No, we had, at our previous residence, we had 3 hijackings. And on one of the hijackings, they took us inside the house and started cleaning us out. And that's a very traumatic experience. I'm not going to go into detail because people have been through it and what it can lead to can get a lot worse than just a hijacking. Not to say that I did go through any of that, because we were fortunate that our neighbor realized what was happening and they sounded the alarm, and it got the people to leave. But yeah, it was very disappointing to realize that it was actually police people that hijacked us.
Police people?
And not 3 weeks ago, my mates were hijacked on the way back to Middelburg, and they were hijacked by policemen. South Africa has so much to offer. You know, when people contemplate immigrating, and people do, and a lot of people come back because they realize what they're missing here. Because I've traveled South Africa quite extensively, you don't realize that we have everything here. We've got rivers, we've got this ocean, maybe 2,000 kilometers of beachfront, of oceanfront. We've got mountains, we've got snow, we've got bushveld, we've got deserts. So South Africa offers everything in one country the size of one state in America.
Yes. Welcome everyone to This Is Dope. Today I have a very special episode for you. Why? Because we're out here in the beautiful Eye of Africa Golf Estate. On top of that, we're going to sit down with a very special guest. Now, this person has over 20 years of experience playing golf professionally. On top of that, he has won the Sunshine Tournament more than 4 times, and he currently won the Seniors Tournament. Now, this person, not only was he the director of golf right here in the Eye of Africa, he's currently the best, the most wonderful and greatest real estate agent right here in the Eye of Africa. He's the keys for you to come in here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a beautiful sit down with Grant Mueller right here in the Eye of Africa Golf Estate. How's it, Grant?
Hey, how are you doing? Nice
I'm great, man. Please tell us, man, where did this whole journey of golf start? Before we go into real estate, where did the golf thing start?
So I was an avid sportsman. Loved sport. I played everything from golf, tennis, soccer, you know, and once I got into the golf when I was 14 years old, it hooked me more than any other sport.
Okay.
And from that time, I think, you know, from the age of 16, I knew I wanted to be a professional. And I turned professional in 1992. And yeah, and then my career went from there on out. You know, it's been 30 years now. I now play a senior professional on a seniors tour. And yeah, it's been an incredible ride because it's given me the experience, the opportunity to travel South Africa extensively. So yeah, it's been really nice. That's how I got into it. I played it once and I got hooked.
Like a drug, man.
Yeah.
So tell me this: how did it affect your real estate career? How did real estate and golf come together for you?
Well, initially, one of my mates who was in the industry for a long time, he said to me, "Look, Grant, you're a salesman.
Oh,
Why don't
okay.
you come and join us? You can do this part time while you're playing golf, and you can also sort of substitute your income as well." So I went and tried it. I joined the company, but it's a kind of business where no one can say to you, you can do it part time.
Okay.
Real estate is a full-time business. It's definitely not a part-time business.
Yes.
And full-time, even to the extent that customers will phone you and send you messages at 10, 10 at night. You know, sometimes they forget what time business hours should shut down.
Yeah.
But as an estate agent, we take the calls and we help them anyway. And that's how I got into it. But I quickly realized that it was a full-time job.
Okay.
So I then stopped and I went out of it. That was about 6 years ago. And I carried on with my golf. And then, you know, through a couple of injuries, led me to slowly a decline in my golf. And it just got to the point where the game actually started costing me money.
Okay.
And yeah, so I made the change. I then became the golf director at Eye of Africa Golf Estate.
Nice.
And that was really nice. It came at a good time. I was fortunate enough to be employed by David Nagel. And that was 3 years. And then we went into COVID. And we then discussed me going into real estate, which I'd been in before, and I could possibly make more money. And it's been the best move that I ever made. I do. I can make more money than as a golf director, and I've got a little bit more time. You know, I've spent a lot of years away from my family, being a professional golfer, and now I'm at home full time.
Yeah.
So you know, I've had now the opportunity to be with the family a lot more, and but more importantly, I really enjoy what I'm doing.
Okay.
Because I live on Eye of Africa.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, it's I think I've got a little head up on all the other agents.
Yes.
because I live here, and I'm going to see all those clients all the time.
Yeah.
So you know, I've got to really be honest with my clients, because when I see them in the shop or in the restaurant, I don't want to be looking the other way.
Yep.
You know, so unfortunately, that's one thing I can't do.
Okay, I hear you. And then you living in Eye of Africa, what do you enjoy about this golf estate? You personally, for you?
I've always lived in the southern suburbs all my life. And I said that the first time they ever have a golf estate, they build one in the south, I'll be the first to buy. And I was. They launched this estate in 2008. Their stands were sold on a ballot system. Once you got your name called out, you could go choose one stand. And as luck may have it, I got called out right at the end, but there were leftover stands, so I bought 4.
Wow.
And yeah, I now live on one of them. My mom stays on the other. We sold the other 2, and that's how it went on to how I got here. But when I came out here, I had no idea how my life was going to change.
Okay, interesting.
So I came from, you know, Glen Vista area, and after our 3rd hijacking, I said that's enough, and that's when we moved here.
Whoa.
Now it's like living on holiday. I don't know of another estate that is as quiet as ours. And when I say quiet, I mean quiet as in hearing. We don't have airports around us. we don't have highways.
Yes.
We don't hear gunshots. You know, it's really is an incredible place to stay. When you drive in the gate here, you feel like you're on a holiday. And this estate, because it's so big, we have a lot to offer. So we kept a lot of greenbelt areas. We don't have houses on top of each other.
Nice.
We've got the golf. We've got one of the best practice facilities in the country. We've got tennis, basketball. We're busy with a cricket oval. They're coming. We're still getting soccer fields coming as well. We've got incredible mountain bike trails. We've got a race that goes through here called the Fast One. Running trails, walking trails. We've got volleyball, petang, We've got communal swimming pools, playgrounds for the kids. We've got 2 restaurants, the Greens Grill House, Doppio Zero. So this place really does offer a lot.
Wow, that's nice, man. Talking about that and offering a lot, what don't you like about estates that are near an airport?
Well, for one, you got every 7 or 9 minutes you got a plane flying over, so that's really, really loud. For me, that's quite disturbing. And then for other, what people don't realize is there's a fuel dropout from those aeroplanes,
Oh, really?
and that affects your breathing. So I mean, I can, without mentioning any estates, if I'm playing golf at certain estates, I can smell the fuel in the air. So
Feel free to name and shame.
so here we don't have that. You know, on bordering our one side of our estate, we even have a game farm. So not many estates have that as well. You can sit on a golf course and look at game.
Nice.
So this is a truly special place. We also have the 2 highest residential stands in Gauteng.
In terms of pricing?
In altitude.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's. I think we offer a lot more than the average estate.
Those 2 stands, how much do they go for? Because that's valuable.
Well, actually, they're more than 2. I'm talking about those are the biggest ones. So
Yeah.
we've got stands from 990,000 at the normal area. The ones at the top there, you're looking at anywhere between 7 and 12 million,
Just for land.
just for the stand.
Hey,
But those are big. There you're going up to 12,900 squares.
wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yo, with that price, you can buy a house, but it's worth it to buy the highest altitude stands in SA.
Look, the views are incredible.
That's what I love.
You got a 360 view almost, and you can see from here, you can see 30, 40 Ks away.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's truly impressive.
Oh, that's crazy. Since you've started this whole thing of being an agent, what's the craziest thing that has happened to you? The craziest experience you've ever had?
I don't think one specific. I slowly, it took me a while to catch on to people signing offer to purchase OTPs, and then disappearing without ever hearing from them. And I couldn't quite work out what that was all about.
Okay.
And that actually it's money laundering.
Whoa,
We
okay.
figured it out that it's money laundering. So they take the offer to purchase, and they use that to bring money into the country. So they might have sent money out the country that might have been cash, and not declared it through SARS, and they use an OTP to bring that money back into the country tax-free. So that's probably one of the craziest things that I've had here. But other than that, I haven't had any really strange things happen to me per se. I think I've been pretty fortunate.
Okay. That's very interesting. I didn't know that could happen. That's crime. That's criminal.
Yeah, well,
actually.
absolutely. You do have to report stuff like that. But whatever does transpire from that, I don't know.
Okay. So now let's look at the other side, from the worst to the best. What's the best thing that has happened to you since you've done this?
I think for me, it's been the time that I've now been allowed to have now with my family,
Okay.
which I never had in the past. I did have a lot of time. So when I was home from tournaments, I was home a lot,
Okay.
and I could fetch my kids from school and things like that. Where other fathers that are in the corporate business, they see their kids in the morning and the evening.
Oh,
So I
see.
used to come home. I could go and watch my kids play sport. I could fetch them from school. I was really fortunate with that regard. But now being in the real estate business, because I'm a very sociable person, I get to interact with a lot of people,
Yes.
and I think I'm very fortunate that I become friends with the people that I sell to. For one, I've got to be very honest with my clients, and because I can't afford to not be. Because I live here, I want to be able to look at my clients when I see them,
Yeah.
and I've become friends with my clients. So my network is only growing. I had a big network before, but it's now growing even more.
Nice.
So a lot of my sales are coming from word of mouth, from referrals, and that speaks volumes for me. It doesn't always mean that it has to be through advertising. You know, in any business, I think if you're making your business through referrals, you're doing something right.
Nice. So that means your networking is also right and what you're doing is right. How would you advise a young person watching this if they want to get started in real estate? How would you advise them to get started in networking? What's your networking secret?
I don't have a specific network secret. In fact, I do. I make it my business to meet people.
Oh, okay.
So, Eye of Africa, when they launched in 2008, when I moved in here, I was one of the very first few houses here.
Okay.
So if I saw somebody in our clubhouse restaurant and I didn't know them, I automatically went to speak to them and see if they were visitors or whether they were coming to live here.
Wow.
So I met people on a daily basis, even new residents. Before, if they just moved in, I already knew who they were.
Wow.
I made it my business to know everybody here. So my networking, yeah, I do know a lot of people here.
Okay, so what other type of networking strategies do you do?
I don't do anything specific.
Okay.
You know, I only work from here. I use golf as a very big platform because golf's a great way to meet people.
Okay.
And at the same time, I also do adventure motorbiking. So all of these platforms, I think the more sociable you are, the more you're going to meet people. So to answer your question, be very sociable. Speak to people. Tell people what you do.
Okay.
Because they're not going to know unless you tell them.
True.
So you need to tell them and express to them, you know, why do you do it? And tell them, I mean, do you love your job? I mean, I love what I do. And that's important. If you don't, you know, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I'm sure you've heard that quote before.
A lot.
And I live by it. I do. I enjoy it. I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, geez, I have to go to work. I enjoy going to work, and I enjoy the people that I meet. Yes, I meet some strange people, and to put it bluntly, beep. But other than that, you know, that's what they need to do. Make it, and be honest. Don't say anything just to make a sale.
Okay.
Because that will be your downfall. Rather tell someone that there's a damn problem or there's something, show them the problems.
Yeah.
Because down the line, they're going to appreciate that you showed them. You might lose that sale, but you'll probably get another sale double the size.
Wow.
Because you were honest with that client. So, in my opinion, from what I've witnessed in this industry, just be honest. It'll take you a long way.
Was there any point where golfing got you an amazing sale or an amazing deal?
Yeah, maybe in some instances, but not really. I can't say that it took me, and that specific one was from golf.
Okay.
I have met people, like I say, met people through golf. So, but what I use it for more for is my clients. So once they've bought and they realize that I'm a golfer, which I'm also a golf coach.
Oh, okay.
So if you buy from me, I might throw in a few free golf lessons as well. And, you know, that way it's nice to keep socializing with my clients. But not per se. I can't say that golf made me sell one specifically big house.
Okay.
I can't say that.
So,
although,
yeah?
to answer, yes, I pick up clients like that. So now I'm actually going to, it does. I have. So I'll pick up a client where I then am able to sell the house. I was looking at it from the other aspect of a purchaser.
Okay.
But yes, golf has. It's gotten me product through golf. You know, I mean, I played with a guy in Springs. And that's how I picked up his house.
Wow.
You know.
Hectic.
So.
Then what about cycling with your motorbike? Have you ever gotten any huge deal or anything special with it?
Yeah, same thing. You know, I went on a venture bike ride. Met a guy that went in the same group as me. We chatted about it, and that was in Zimbabwe.
Oh wow!
and I got his house to sell as well.
Oh wow!
You know, so again, the social aspect of your life will be your biggest ally.
Nice.
Never mind the adverts. Your social aspect, because if you are that way inclined and you make a lot of friends, you're going to get a lot of clients.
I love what you say. From your experience in golf estates and golfing. How do you feel about the state of golf estates right now,
This particular one or golf estates worldwide?
worldwide and South Africa?
They're definitely on the up. And the reason
Okay.
being is everybody wants to live in an estate. They want that safety, they want the security. And I'm going to punt our golf estate at this point because, and the reason being is our living expenses here are very good. Our levies are very low. At 2,430 Rand, when I tell people that, they say, geez, that's low. So when you compare that to a lot of other ones, we are very reasonable. But golfing estates, I encourage any family. If you're living in a suburb and you have the opportunity to move to a golf estate, do not wait because you're not going to believe the way your life will change.
Wow.
I now sleep with my doors open. I don't have an alarm system. On our estate, you're not allowed to have burglar bars.
Okay.
We also don't have front walls in the front of our yards, which is very much like Australia.
Okay.
So, you know, this that aspect of that openness and freedom and not looking over your shoulder every time you pull into the driveway, you cannot put a price on it.
Yeah.
And from a children's aspect, it's 10 times better. Because to see kids playing in the estate again, on their bicycles and walking around playing on skateboards, it's so refreshing to see.
Yeah.
Because I've been around for long enough to have seen what it used to be like and what it is like now. You can't put a price on it.
That's beautiful. So what do you mean you've seen both states, what it was before and now?
Well, you know, in the old days, I'm going back 40 years when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
You know, we all rode in on our bicycles in the street and we played and we came home late at night. You can't do that today. Nobody will let their kids out in their neighborhoods at 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. The safety aspect's not there. And I don't think, you know, anybody would like to go through an experience where their kid is kidnapped or something.
Yeah. That's
You know,
sad.
I have a client that bought from me here. He was kidnapped
Whoa.
and kept for 4 days.
Wow.
So he paid a ransom and then bought in our estate to think, and he says it was the best thing he's ever done.
Wow.
They're now living like normal people again. So it's very traumatic. I've been through it myself. You can't put a price on living in an estate. And your social aspect is incredible. I think the biggest downside is you could become an alcoholic.
What do you mean you can become an
Well,
alcoholic?
if you're a sociable person, you socialize a lot. You know, I'll get an invite or we'll braai every weekend.
Yes.
So if you're doing that, you know, the opportunity to drink a lot is quite easy.
It's in abundance.
Yeah. You got to be a bit disciplined.
Yes, because you're having fun with the prize and whatnot. And you know how South Africans with prize.
Yeah.
We're hectic. We love our prize in South Africa a lot. So now tell me this. You mentioned something deep. You said it also happened to you. What do you mean? Have you also been kidnapped or what happened?
No, we had, at our previous residence, we had 3 hijackings. And on one of the hijackings, they took us inside the house and started cleaning us out. And that's a very traumatic experience. I'm not going to go into detail because people have been through it and what it can lead to can get a lot worse than just a hijacking. Not to say that I did go through any of that, because we were fortunate that our neighbor realized what was happening and they sounded the alarm.
Oh, thank
And
God.
it got the people to leave.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was very disappointing to realize that it was actually police people that hijacked us.
Police people?
And not 3 weeks ago, my mates were hijacked on the way back to Middelburg. And they were hijacked by policemen. They caught them. They've caught them. So it makes it very difficult in the evening for someone who's getting pulled over by somebody with blue lights. You don't even know if they are cops or whether they're not.
Yes.
And you don't know if you're safe. So yeah, living on an estate's the way to go.
Yeah, and it sounds like it is the way to go, living in an estate, and golf estates are quite refreshing. With that being said, what's your take on golf estates in South Africa only, currently?
I think they compare with the world's best.
Is it?
From what I hear from a mate of mine, one of our golf estates was voted best golfing estate in the world.
Really?
I'm not going to name it yet because I need clarification.
Okay.
But I can believe it because it's spectacular. It's down on the west coast in George. And the golf estates in South Africa are incredible. People don't realize you don't need to go overseas
Oh, really?
to experience the best of life. South Africa has so much to offer. You know, when people contemplate immigrating, and people do, and a lot of people come back because they realize what they're missing here. Because I've traveled South Africa quite extensively, you don't realize that we have everything here. We've got rivers, we've got this ocean, maybe 2,000 kilometers of beachfront, of ocean front. We've got mountains, we've got snow, we've got bushveld, we've got deserts. So South Africa offers everything in one country the size of one state in America.
Yeah, I see.
You know, there are places in South Africa, if people just went and Googled places to go, they'll realize they don't need to go overseas. You might go overseas for sightseeing, for certain things, whether it be the Eiffel Tower or Big Ben in the UK, it doesn't matter. I've been to a couple of countries overseas. Nothing compares to South Africa.
Wow.
And then we are called the Rainbow Nation as well, because you've got every kind of character in this country.
Exactly.
I've met all of them. I've socialized with all of them.
Yes.
You know, we had a jazz evening at our estate recently, and my wife and I were two white people that went out of 300.
Wow.
And I had one of the best evenings of my life. It was fantastic. I enjoyed every minute of it. I made new friends. I saw a lot of my existing clients.
Nice.
It was the best thing for me to ever do because people have got to be open to looking at other people's cultures.
Yeah.
And even when I was playing professional golf, well, I still am, I went into townships in Swaziland, and where people would never dare to go. When you go and see, I mean, we've got tours in South Africa that take you into Soweto.
Yes.
It'll be the biggest eye-opener that people can imagine.
True, yeah.
You've just got to be open to it and not be so afraid of the dangers, because those kind of things are not dangerous. You can go on the tours and you are safe.
Hectic.
You know, it's amazing how people actually embrace you. On our adventure bike riding, I've taken people and through townships where they're literally cringing and they're like, "Why did you bring us here?" And I said, "What were you afraid of? Did you see everybody waving at you?"
Yeah.
They were waving. They weren't coming to hijack you on your motorbike. So yeah, you've got to be able to embrace it. I think we've got an incredible country. And like you say, like you asked, our golf estates in this country are beyond spectacular. We have golf tours coming from overseas to come play here
Wow.
because our views are so incredible.
Hectic. Wow, man. You painted South Africa in a beautiful light. I like that because I was also meeting a lot of people who are migrating and some people asking me, why should I stay in SA? So with what you said, it's very valuable. Now, from here on, what do you think is the future of golf estates?
Only growth.
Yeah.
There will definitely be a decline in the development of them. In other words, what I mean is building new ones because of the actual cost. Also, with regards to the environmental side, not that it affects the environment, but they do want to build golf estates on your very scenic areas. So they are stopping that.
Okay.
In other words, on your coastlines, they are stopping that. But the golf estates themselves are not that they're all full to capacity, so you can still buy on a lot of them. Some are full, so you'll buy resales. Resales is obviously, well, that's my biggest portion of my business.
Okay.
But we do developer stock as well. So like on our estate, and I don't know another estate in the country that's going as fast as ours.
Okay.
At the moment, we have 230 houses under construction.
Whoa.
We have apartments, we have cluster units, we have vacant stands. So for someone wanting to buy at Eye of Africa, we have everything to offer. So from someone who can afford 900,000 Rand to someone who can afford 34 million, we do. I think we've just taken an offer on a 34 million Rand house
Wait, what?
in Eye of Africa, which
How
will
much
be
did you say?
34 million.
Whoa, hectic.
That'll be the highest selling property in Eye of Africa.
Wow, 34 mil.
So incredible place. It's like living in a little hotel. It's very incredible. But it's a state in an estate that's really on the up.
Wow. Yo, that's hectic, man. With what you just said now, a popular question on this show is, people like you have a chance and an experience where you go into massive, beautiful houses. And apart from going inside those houses, you get to mingle with the owners of those houses. Some people watching this want to live in those houses. What have you learned that's a disadvantage in living in those houses, first of all, before we get to the advantages? Let's start with the disadvantages.
I think the only disadvantage of living in a big, beautiful house is maybe the upkeep. But if you can afford the big, beautiful upkeep, you can afford, the house, you can afford the upkeep, the maintenance. I don't think that there's any downside to it, to be honest. I've been in the most beautiful places. Possibly one downside is I do see clients overextending themselves and then losing their homes because they've bought this big, beautiful place and they couldn't sustain it.
Oh.
So my advice to all my clients is I say, what is the maximum that you want to spend? And when I say to them, what is the maximum? I'm not saying push it more than what you can. Be careful of what your affordability is and make sure that you're still comfortable. Because at no point do you want to be under pressure to pay your bond, your rates and taxes, etc. So don't buy beyond your means. Buy what's comfortable and what you know is affordable. So I don't think there's a downside really to living in big, beautiful homes. What we do see here a lot, because we offer everything from the bottom end of the range right to the top.
Yeah.
I do see youngsters buying apartments. They then come and buy a cluster unit. When they then earn a little bit more, they then move from their clusters and they move into a bigger house. And then you see the reverse, where you see a family that they've got kids. Their kids now grow up and go to varsity and move out. And now the parents are sitting at home with a massive house and all the upkeep, and there's only 2 people. So they then sell the house and move back to a cluster for the security, not for the security, for the easier maintenance.
Oh, yes.
So from that aspect, it's quite nice to have everything on our estate available.
Because every market has their positioning.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Now that's very interesting. So now, what do you love about big, beautiful houses? What's the advantages of living in them?
Well, I think today, with a lot of my clients, they need a lot of garaging. So what I've noticed is that I love motor cars and I love sporting equipment. So I needed a lot of garages. So I've got 4 garages.
Okay.
And the same applies to a lot of my clients. And I noticed that a lot in the black culture.
Yeah.
They love their motor cars more than their houses. So they need a space to park all their cars.
Yes.
So that's one of the advantages. We offer houses with a lot of garaging space. Today it's become the norm to have ensuite bedrooms. Everybody wants their bathrooms to be ensuite with a bedroom.
That's true.
We all grew up as youngsters and we had to share bathrooms.
Yeah.
Today the parents spoil their kids. You get your own bathroom, your own bedroom. I'm surprised that most of them don't have their own lounges as well. So there are those advantages. You don't have to share a bathroom. I do understand, especially if you've got a boy and a girl, then it's nice for them to have their own bathrooms because of obvious reasons. But it's not a necessity. But when people come and apply with me, I definitely notice that that's what they want. I want 4 bedrooms, ensuite, 2 lounges, 4 garages, And that's the normal request. That's why I can roll it off my tongue so easily, because that's the request that I get every day. Unfortunately, most people are a little bit like me. They've got champagne taste and beer money. So, it's they want the 7 million rand house, but they've got the 4 million rand pocket.
Yeah, the beer money.
So, yeah, there are bonuses to having the big houses with regards to guests and entertainment. And when your children have friends stay over, those are always nice added advantages. But for me, the biggest advantage is not the house. It's living on an estate and having the security.
Hectic. You know, when you speak about friends coming over and that, I want to know, how do you feel about this? Just a couple of weeks ago, we were in this big, beautiful house, and I happened to ask the owner, what's your favorite spot in this house? So what's your favorite place in your own house? He has this beautiful, massive house, this guy. After I asked him, he paused for a second. Then he looked at me in the eyes like, you know what, my man? I actually don't have a favorite spot in this house because I'm always at work being busy. So this stuff here is just for my guests. The cinema you see is just for the guests to watch and stuff like that. How do you feel about that statement?
I think I agree with him to a certain extent, because he's obviously talking from a corporate position. So he has a gentleman, like I said earlier, someone who sees his children in the morning and sees them in the evening.
Yes.
I think I've got 2 favorite spots in my house.
Yeah?
In fact, I've got 3.
Okay, what are those?
And the reason I'm saying that is, one is my dining room.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is, and this is a very important fact for any family, I think, it's my opinion, is we sit down for supper every night. We don't sit in front of the TV and eat supper. So it's good time for me to sit down and talk to my family and my kids. And I think it's very important. A lot of people sit in front of the TV, some kids eat in their bedrooms. There's no discipline today. And they're missing, it's a very important part. You need to sit down in there and know what your children are doing. Because it's under things like that when you suddenly realize, oh, my kid's on drugs. Because you don't ever sit down with your kid. So I'm fortunate enough to have that opportunity every night. My second favorite area is my garage.
We know.
I've got a lot of, I like sporting equipment. Yes. So maybe 10 golf bags in there, over the years, a lot of stuff. And I've got my motorbike and bicycles and golf carts. And so I needed 4 garages. So that's very important. And I'm a handyman, so I've got a lot of tools. So very important for me. And then the other very important area for me is my patio. So when I designed my house, my emphasis was on my patio area. Because I look at a lot of homes that are designed today with very small patios. You can't even push the chair out. You might fall off the edge of the patio. My patio is very big, and I like it because we have when we entertain, we have a lot of people. So Christmas coming now, you've got 25 people sitting around the table. You need a big table. So patio, very important for me. We entertain, we braai there, we converse there. So yeah, even people that are designing homes, my advice, if you are sociable, put a big emphasis on the size of your patio.
Oh, okay.
Architects make that mistake 80% of the time. Oof.
Architects, now you got a tip. So now tell me this, if a youngster is watching this and they look at you, they're like, wow, Grant, you have so much experience, you've done a lot. They also want to be inside the real estate industry. What would you advise someone who wants to be a real estate mogul to do? How can a person be a real estate mogul?
I think a couple of reasons. One, when you join a company, try and join a company that has got a very good reputation.
Okay.
Don't get caught up in the norm. In the real estate business, when I say the norm, there's a lot of dishonesty.
Okay.
So don't get caught up in that. Surround yourself with a good company. 2, shadow a very good estate agent. Go with him. Go and watch how he closes deals, how he signs mandates, what he does, how he talks to the people. And shadow him. Don't do it for 1-2 days. Go with him a lot. Then go with another one. And everyone's got a different way of closing a deal. You know, that way you're going to learn. There's nothing better than learning from the best. You know, and at the same time, surround yourself with successful people.
Okay.
Because the successful people are the ones that have got the bigger houses.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not trying to sound elitist.
Okay.
But that if you want to make more money, you need to sell the bigger homes. However, I'm going to contradict myself. You can make a great living if you specialize, for argument's sake, in cluster houses, smaller homes, but that's all you do, and you put all your emphasis into just that one thing. You're going to do very well. So, again, keep your business cards with you all the time. So again, socially. But yeah, to answer your question, socialize, learn to be with the big, important, good estate agents, and learn from them that way.
Nice. I appreciate what you say. When in the same breath, if someone wants to be an entrepreneur and they ask themselves, what problems can I solve? What's missing? From your experience, what problems are you facing currently right now that you feel like someone should just develop a business, or you just feel like this is just a problem right now in the industry? What's that problem?
I'll give you 2 problems in this industry.
Okay.
One, you have your advertising platforms. So whether they be private property, Property 24, and this I find very misleading.
Okay.
We don't do it. We separate ourselves from it. Companies sell homes. They advertise them on their sites, something like Property 24.
Okay.
They sell that home and they leave that advert on that platform. In other words, you come and you're looking for a house, and you see this house for 5 million rand. You phone, the house was sold 6 months ago already. And this for
That's
me
bad.
it's not only bad, it's misleading and it's dishonest. We sell our products, we delist them straight away.
Okay.
You won't go onto the Property 24 and find a product from us that is still available. If it is, it might go into 2 weeks, maybe, not more than that. So that's, for me, I don't like that.
Okay.
There was one other reason to the same extent, and I just can't remember what I was actually going to tell you now.
Okay.
But that's probably my worst.
Okay, so basically this entrepreneur, while you think of the other reason, basically this entrepreneur person has to discover a way where a house is being sold. It updates not only on the deeds office, but it also updates on the adverts.
Yeah.
So they need to be combined and they need to speak to each other. Like, oh, this house has been sold. Automatically it's being removed, so that it becomes less of a task for the agent to manually take out the advert.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they have to come with something like that, right?
See what they won't do it. So they won't do it.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because when you're looking, every time you click on a property, they get paid.
Oh.
So they won't ever take it off. But there should be some form of law that it should be taken off.
I see.
So while they're changing all the rules in the EAAB, they need to sort that out. Because I just find that it is dishonest.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other thing is, I think a lot of people as well, they don't like to be contacted by estate agents all the time.
Yes.
So we have the same complaint all the time.
Yeah.
Is, where did these agents get my phone number from? And they are you're buying a database. So they have stopped it, and the POPI Act changed, but people still have the databases. And so I don't know if there is a solution, but I do know that people don't like being phoned all the time. It's very annoying. I mean, I get phoned myself.
Yeah.
Phone me
Comes
as
back
well.
to you.
So I generally entertain it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then eventually when they finish talking, I say, I'm also an agent.
Hectic.
So, yeah, it's those are probably my 2 biggest gripes.
But now, the last one you're saying, it's very important because now, if they don't use the database and contact people, it's basically there won't be business, and people who might need the service won't be aware. So how can we make this thing work for both parties? How can these people get their business, and how can people get the right people to offer them services?
Well, you still can. I mean, the places are still there. You can always look up any estate agency at any point. I mean, when you drive around, doesn't matter where you live. You can. If I asked you, what are there's a couple of estate agents in your area, you know, because you see the boards. So there's nothing to stop. You can easily go to a board, take off the name, and go and, you know. It doesn't mean because someone's phoning you that you're going to get a more reputable company. It doesn't mean that. It's the luck of the draw. It's how you resonate with that customer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I say, I'm commenting on something that's maybe in a perfect world.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's the industry, and unfortunately, it is a very tough industry. And it's very difficult to stay on the straight and narrow for agents. And I think once they say, well, you know what, Joe Blogs down the road, he does it, and John Doe on the other side, he also does it, I may as well do it as well. And I think it's a sad mentality to have. And it might pay off to a certain extent because you're going to get that property. And maybe I'm very naive in thinking that it could be rectified, because it probably can't.
Yeah.
I don't think it can. So it's something that you have to just accept. But it doesn't mean that you have to be like that.
I see what you mean.
So if I see, and I'll give you another great example.
Sure.
I advertise this property on Property 24. You another agent, you're looking for a property like that. So you see it. You then go and phone that client directly because you know the address of the property. So you get hold of the client's phone number and you phone them directly. But you only know about their property because of my advert. Why did you not phone me? Because you know why? Because you don't want to share the commission.
Eish.
Now, if I see a property advertised and I know that one of my clients will like it, I will phone that agent and say, can you organize a viewing? That way you split the commission.
Yes.
A lot of agents don't want to do that. They will phone the client directly and then try and sell it not through the other agent. And for me, that's a very dishonest trait.
Yeah, it is dishonest.
We don't do that either.
So how do you feel about the current state of the regulators right now?
Well, they are changing. I know that they've made quite a few changes, you know, with regards to who can sell property, qualified people, etc. So they have made quite a few changes. To deal with them in their offices, I'm not going to say anything else. Nothing short of disgraceful.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Difficult, you know, and those are the things that I noticed when I was in Zimbabwe. Everybody was friendly and helpful.
Oh, wow.
When we go into our governmental departments in South Africa, everyone acts like they're doing you a favor.
Oh.
They're happy to let you walk right up to the counter and put down going on lunch in front of you and make you wait for an hour. They don't treat you with any form of respect, which you now trying to project to them as well. So how do I treat you with respect if you're treating me with disdain?
Yeah, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Whereas in Zimbabwe, when we crossed the border, and I'm going to use this very loosely, it was like going into another country, because that's exactly what it was. The guys were so friendly and so welcoming. And when we came back into our own country, I hated every minute of it. Oof. Because of my own residents of our own country treated us like
Damn.
and that's not nice. So, yeah.
So now, if you had the power to change things, what would you improve in SA? Because it is a lovely country, as you just said, man. You sold it nicely, and I'm sold, and I love SA too. But what would you do to improve it?
I'll change our laws to start off. The very first thing, I'll change our laws. In South Africa, the law, the crime doesn't fit the punishment, and that's where it all starts. So whether it's bribery and corruption, whether it's murder, rape, none of the crime, the punishment fits the crime. So if you can start off by sorting that out, you don't become, we're living in a lawless society. And it's sad.
Yes.
It's sad because and that's why I love George. Because when you go to George, there's no chance of bribing cops down there. There's no driving in potholes.
Wow.
The streets are clean. The light bulb, the street lights that they put up 4 weeks ago have not been pulled down already for the wires.
We know who takes those
You know,
and where they take them.
and that's sad. It's just, and we all know, we know exactly who takes those.
Yes.
So that's what I would change first, because once you get that sorted out, and you live according to a law, then your government, then your country will change. But it all stems from that, not the other way around. Now you've got guys in power. If you get caught with corruption, you should get a minimum of 20 years imprisonment.
Hey, you one heck of a president, my man.
No, but we'll have one heck of a country.
Yes, that's true, that's true.
Then you'll start learning to respect each other.
Yeah.
I mean, do we respect our cops? No, we don't. Because they pull us over not even for speeding. They just pull us over for lunch.
And you can run faster than the cops here.
So that's why I think George is such an incredible area.
Wow, man.
A lot of people were emigrating, 123 families a week going down there. And a lot are coming back because of the new, back into the offices, no more working from home, or not as much working from home. And going back to your question from earlier, you asked me about what are the benefits to living in a big house.
Yeah.
A lot of people are working from home now. So it's good to have that study, that you have that working place. However, you should never be working and living in the same area.
Okay, how do you feel
your
about
home is
that?
your home.
Yeah.
It's not where you do business.
Eish. I see what you mean.
It's your home. It's where you have family time.
So you prefer to separate them?
I do.
Hectic. So now talking about your preferences, if you had the ability and the chance to start your own estate from scratch, what would you do?
What would I do differently? Or just what you mean, where would I do it, or what would I do?
Anyway, anyhow, what would you do? You just have the opportunity to start your own estate.
Agency.
Not agency, estate in general.
Oh, an estate like this?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. If I had the opportunity, I'd love to do it.
What would you do?
I'd love to. I would. There are various areas. So I'd like to do one on the coastal side.
Okay.
And I'd like to do another one in a remote area. Not far from your Joburg or your Cape Towns, in a remote area.
Okay.
I would like to also have a golfing facility, but I would like to do it on another level, like very, very, not exclusive, is not the right word, because I would like everyone to come there.
Okay.
But I want it to be an area that there are no complaints. You'll always have complaints because you can't please everybody.
Yes,
I think you're naive if you think you can.
Yeah.
But I would like to run it the way I want to run an estate. But we're not going to go into the way I want to run an estate because we don't have enough time. Because the one thing that I would pride myself on, and that's what people don't do, is I would treat every resident the same. So just because you've got deeper pockets than Joe, doesn't mean that you can design your house outside of the building parameters.
Oh, okay.
And that happens in estates. When I built in the beginning, I wasn't allowed 4 garages.
Okay.
And I wasn't allowed to let them face in a certain direction. Now you can.
Oh, wow.
So stick to uniformity. My favorite estates in the whole country are all the ones that have the same building design or theme. Because a lot of them, even overseas in America, it doesn't matter if you look at them, those estates are the ones that look the most tidy. They have the same roofing, it's a one theme. You can, different designs, but one theme.
I see what you mean.
So those estates look incredibly tidy. That much more than a normal estate.
Yeah, I see the trend a lot in SA nowadays.
Yeah, there are a lot of those estates. You know, you've got Arabella. I mean, I can name a lot. Arabella, Steenberg, there are lots. Mount Edgecombe, all golfing estates, but one theme.
Yeah.
So, does it stop you from a little bit of individuality? Yes, but you can make the same theme look very different. But the estate looks incredible. Pearl Valley is another one. World-class estate. One theme. You can't even have different color roofs. The roofs are the same roofs. Okay. So, yeah, those are very important facts for me. On my estate, that's how I would do it. That would be the very first thing I would do.
Nice, that's beautiful, man.
You know, and I would also, also limit who can build there.
Okay.
So I would only have 5 different builders that you can choose from.
Okay.
You know, I would vet those builders and choose. A lot of people get builders, and I feel sorry for a lot of even customers who thought they were getting, but I can get this builder, he'll only build for X amount. I said, that's too cheap. No, but he'll do this. And now they're fixing repair after repair. So don't think that getting a builder with a cheaper price is the right solution, because it's not. Find somewhere in a happy medium, in the middle of the road, and get references. So even on our estates, the builders that I recommend live here. So they will never run away from your you with your money. If you've got a problem, they'll come and fix it.
I see.
So I pride myself on who I introduce to who, and those people that use those builders become friends with those builders because they're good, genuine people. And those are very important facts on any estate, not just a golf estate.
Yeah. With that being said, we noticed a lot of people crying about contractors, general contractors, how misbehaving they are, you know. How do you feel about that whole thing? Because it also affects the real estate industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the estates are to blame because of who they're allowing to come in there. Anybody can get an NHBRC certificate.
Yes.
Anybody. You can walk off the street and literally get one. So it doesn't mean that you're a qualified builder. So I feel this in every estate's to blame. If you want to build on our estate, please take me. And this comes through a thing of being lazy. If I want to vet you as a builder, take me and show me the houses that you've built.
Okay.
I want to see what you've built, and I want to speak to those owners. What was your experience like with this builder? Then I've now vetted you. So that's how the estate should be able to say then, okay, these are our builders.
Okay.
Because I think that estate should have some accountability in a way. It's not really up to them, but I think that they should have some form of accountability.
Yeah, things are changing and estates need to change. And while we're on change, I've seen a lot that's going on right now concerning change. People are starting to build eco estates, green estates. With the current situation in our country, now people are building estates that have solar panels, solar farms and whatnot. How do you feel about this whole thing?
I agree with it. I agree with it totally. With the current load shedding in our country, it's very difficult from a living aspect. But one thing it has done is it's taught a lot of people in fancy homes what it feels like to stay in a house with no electricity. So it opens your mind to that kind of thing. However, it's also very difficult for kids when they're studying. So it affects them. So I do encourage people to put in solar systems and be off the grid. It's very important to put those added benefits, but they are expensive and they come at a price. But now you're putting them into your houses, and now the government wants to tax you on them. You know, once again, it's the easiest form of getting money from your residents. I mean your country.
Yeah, so they're basically fleecing.
So I do agree with all of those benefits, going green, off the grid, etc., etc. But you're fleecing residents when you're trying to tax them on something that costs them money to improve their own house. And now you want to tax them because they're the guys who are paying your taxes, and they're now no longer paying you for your Eskom bill. So now you want to tax them.
Hectic.
That is so unlawful.
Yeah, that's very bad. I see what you mean. Hectic, man. So now, do you think there's a possibility that we can have an entire off-grid estate?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's pretty much in the pipeline with a lot of places. Um, you'll get to a point where you might not have a choice.
Yeah.
I think going forward, I think if you wanted to put up certain golf courses and estates like that, I think there will be certain stipulations as to what, when you do it, you have to provide X.
Oh, okay.
We're in a situation where we should have put up wind turbines
Okay.
on the back side of our estate because it's so big and we've got such a big, call it mountain on the back with a lot of wind. It would have benefited us dramatically. If it was my estate, this personal one, as I live here, I would put up a wind turbines on the back of the estate and I would charge my residents a way reduced fee on electricity. I'll make money out of it myself and we'll never have load shedding.
Nice.
And then tell me how attractive it would be to then come and buy on this estate.
I'd buy. I'd be the first one in line.
100%.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's my mentality on something like that.
Hectic,
my
man.
thoughts.
So, Grant, we've had fun chilling with you. We've learned a lot. We'd like to sit down with you some more. But for now, what can you just say to the youth? What words of advice or wisdom can you share with them concerning this real estate industry?
With regards to becoming a real estate agent or in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice industry. Is it for everybody? No, it's
Okay.
not for everybody because it takes a lot of patience. I've always asked for patience my whole life. God doesn't give you patience; He gives you opportunities to learn patience.
Yes.
So I thought it was professional golf, but I was wrong.
Eish.
It's this business because this business you need patience.
Okay.
And with every regard, you can have appointment for 2:00. Your client will arrive at 4:00, and like it's no business, like it's tomorrow. You know, they just think because you sit in the office at the front gate, you'll be there anyway. So, my advice to the youngsters is make sure that it's the industry for you. If you're very quiet, subdued type of person, it's not the industry for you. If you're quite a sociable person, it can go well for you. And if you are going to go into the industry, do not fall into the same category as the majority of estate agents. I'm not saying everyone is like that. Maybe I'm using the wrong word terminology. But don't fall into the dishonesty category.
Okay.
You know, try and be honest with your clients. Because it will pay off in the long run. You might lose the sale today, but that client, because you were honest, they'll give you another referral, you'll make more sales.
I see
Don't
what
think
you
of the client that you lost today, think of the ones that you're going to get in the future.
I like that. And then what's going on with you in the future? What's next for you?
Me, I'll move to George
Oh, wow. Okay.
and I'll open a motorbike shop.
Nice.
It's my passion. I love motorbikes. I can do that until I'm 90.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
And-
beautiful.
And then I can sell and ride. So it's something that I've always wanted. I want to live down in George. I love the environment, the riding, the scenery is just what I like. You also got the coast as well, which is I'm a little bit past that.
Oh,
The
okay.
beaches are for kids. I will still go there, but I just love the area. It runs, it works. So for the future, it's not immediate, maybe a couple of years, 5 years or so. But that being said, I know that when I move, I'm going to lose a lot of my friends and that I've met here. However, like I said, I'm sociable. I make friends easily, and I
Yeah.
already know people there,
Yeah, sorry.
so it won't affect me to that too much of that extent. But I do want to go down to George.
I see. Man, it was lovely meeting you.
It was my
Thank you a
absolute
lot,
pleasure.
Grant.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Guys, there you have it, man. We chilled with Grant Mueller out here in the Eye of Africa. I promise you there's a lot more coming. If he promises to come back on our show, man, we'll take you to George and you'll see George and what he'll be doing that
Absolutely.
side and whatnot, you know. Other than that, thank you for being with us. Keep it real and make sure you stay dope. Thank you for joining us on This Is Dope. Bye.
Bye bye.